I'm Kaylee Jakovics. For those of you that are just now joining us, we are at the 92nd Annual Meeting and Exhibition in Cleveland for IBTTA. I'm one of your hosts for Toll Talk. I'm also with Mojo Creative Digital. We have our other host, which is Alexander Ficari, who is here with us today. And we have a special guest, Anthony. Anthony, if you would like to give your introduction, we'd love to know what you do, what committees you're involved with. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sounds good. All right. So I'm Anthony Scrow. I'm an associate at Arcadis. I've been with the company for about 13 years now. We were previously IBI Group, and about 2 years ago we've got acquired by Arcadis, so we're now Arcadis. As an associate there, I've primarily been working in the toll space for most of the 13 years, actually. I've been in the systems realm. I have a civil engineering background, a master's in civil engineering, but I kind of fell into the systems space early on in my career. And like many others here, there was work in tolling, and I just kind of stumbled into tolling, and I've been doing it for almost 13 years now.
That's fantastic. 13 years. 13
years. There's a little bit of a co-op term that I did early on when I started 13 years ago. But I've been full-time with Arcadis well over 10 years, but it was kind of on and off before that. And yeah, so for the most part now, I've done a lot of work in the tolling consulting space, but we as Arcadis have mobility solutions. We have our own toll system from the roadside to the back office. And so I manage a lot of those projects now. So everything from getting the work to understanding requirements and business rules and doing the design, testing, and delivering the toll system.
Okay.
Very good.
So that's my background in terms of work. Within IBTTA, I've been part of IBTTA, I would say, at least for the last 5 or 6 years. I think my first conference was maybe in Orlando in 2019. So I've been to a handful of the tech conferences, a few of the annual conferences. I started off just participating in the conferences, trying to find my space within them. Found it a little bit difficult to navigate. A lot of people already know each other, and people have been in the industry for 30 plus years. So I think it was in Orlando, the creation of the Young Professional Council actually came to be. So that's YPC.
Oh, yay.
So I tried to get involved early on by just signing up. I said, I want to be young professional. I'm young. I want to meet people and see what it's like. So everything was fresh. No one really knew what was happening. So at the beginning, they created a steering committee and some subcommittees. So I put my name down to just join a subcommittee. So I originally started as part of the events. I think it was called event subcommittee. So trying to organize events within, not only within YPC, but connecting it with IBTTA. From there, I participated in that. We had a career growth subcommittee where, again, we're trying to help young professionals see what it is they need to help expand their careers.
Let me ask you that, Anthony. So for those who aren't watching, when we talk about young professionals, there's a little bit of a misnomer there, right? We're really talking about anybody who's in tolling and is new to tolling. It can be at any age, right? But
are there parameters? I mean, what are the parameters for YPC? I'm part of it. I love it, by the way.
So we use the term young professionals, but you're right. And that's the first thing we follow up with after is, because immediately someone's thinking, well, what's the age cutoff? There really isn't one, and the idea is that young professionals or new to the industry is really what we're targeting. Because whether you're 50, 60 years old, but you were in ITS for 30 years, you're new to tolling, all of this is brand new. The concepts, the acronyms, the people, the different vendors and companies. So we really try and bring anyone in who is just new to the industry and is looking to expand their network and to learn more about IBTTA and the tolling industry.
Yeah, and we've hosted events. We just had one the other day, but we welcome not just young professionals or new to the industry, but everyone, seasoned professionals, because that's how we learn as well, not just from our peers. So it's. You want to talk a little bit about the event, because I thought it was a good success for the YPC. It was a joint social.
Yes, exactly. So that was this year, so all of 2024, I was the chair of YPC. So one of the things I was hoping to do again is always expanding and connecting young professionals with the rest of IBTTA, really help them get their foot in the door. And it was a great initiative that LAAA, so the Leadership Academy, and the Women in Tolling and YPC, we often were doing social events at the same times as each other during during
almost competitive.
conferences. Yeah.
Like, where do I go?
It was challenging to find times because IBTTA does a great job scheduling everything. And you don't want to overlap with another IBTTA session, so we would always look for the gaps. And then we ended up having social events that were at the same time as each other. So early on in the year, we decided to do a joint social. We created a steering committee with members from each of the different organizations.
Right.
Each of them got their own sponsors to sponsor the event. And it ended up being a successful event. I think there was about 200 people was the RSVP list for that. So I think there was 200 people. The idea was to get a little sticker on a name tag to see which organization you were part of. And there was even a little bingo trivia.
Bingo game,
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was
fantastic.
fun. Whose idea was that? That was fun.
That was a good idea. That was good.
I think Chelsea and the members of the steering committee.
Okay.
Something light and easy. If you didn't want to partake, you didn't have to. But if you wanted to ease your way into a conversation, really breaking the ice. And that's what it was used for.
Yeah, no, and I thought that was a great strategy, you know. And, you know, one of the goals here, and I don't think if you haven't been to an IBTTA event, I mean, you really need to make it a priority. You know, the whole idea of Total Talk is to make it accessible, right, to people, help them understand their role in the industry and how that all ties together, right?
Absolutely.
And so what they can bring and where do they go and who do they talk to and get at that human level, what's happening in that corner of the room that I want to be a part of, right? And so we are charged up by YPC in general. And I love it when Pat is always saying, speaking of Pat, creepy here, like
special guest.
Pat's always around.
Also
us.
here.
No, Pat's always been saying, you know, reach out there, you know, make people feel welcome, and I think that's important. We have to say, if you are watching, you have to come to an event as well. I mean, I think it's a nice mix of both the digital world, but that physical. There's a synergy. There's something here that happens, and I think it's great that YPC is there. I think it honestly. It should be almost mandatory. You know, I would love to, as somebody who's new to the industry, I would love to say, okay, you have to do, I don't know, 6 months or a year at YPC and go to some events, and because that helps you. I think it's nothing more than
really
a great
does.
opportunity.
Yeah.
You know?
And from my personal experience, the first few conferences I went to, while they were enjoyable, I did learn a lot. I kind of found myself stuck to my colleagues. I'm hanging out with my colleagues, and it's great. They're introducing me to their circles. You get to meet people, but then after that, those people go to the people they know very well, and then I'm kind of left at like, well, how do I?
What do you do now?
What do I do? How do I get into those circles again? And once I got connected with YPC, even in between those interactions I was having with new people, I could see a fellow YPCer across the vendor hall that I would say, I'm going to go hang out with them for 10 or 15 minutes because I know them. And then they started introducing me to their circles. And I found it just a lot more collaborative and easier to break through into the circles through YPC.
Absolutely.
It was great.
Do you have, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, do you have any advice for any new members that you would give? Because I know you started, 2019?
Yeah,
that's right around the time that we started as well. So.
So I think just advice for anyone in general is get involved in any way. I mean, it doesn't even have to be YPC. And the thing with YPC that we're trying to do is to say, look, IBTTA has all kinds of other subcommittees that they offer. Some of them are appointed, so it's not as easy to join those ones, but there are a good handful of them that you can just volunteer. And there's no better way to get your foot in the door than to volunteer, be involved in any of the committees in any capacity, even just being on a mailing list so you're aware of what's going on.
Well, I think but right there, what you're aware of what's going on. Situational awareness is what gives you the confidence to navigate these rooms, right? And when you can have an educated conversation of what you heard at a particular event or where people were going that particular night, like I think that's the takeaway there, you know, and I think it definitely has to be a priority.
I think so. I've met a couple new and young professionals. There was someone from Michael Baker who's just fresh out of college. He found out he was coming to this conference very recently, and he said he was enjoying everything YPC had to offer because he was making so many connections. He was in the same boat as me.
Was it Adam?
Adam.
Yes, I met Adam too. So, and I was like, welcome.
He had his few colleagues that he knew, and he wasn't really sure where to go and how to get connected and to meet people. And I think it was on the Saturday night before a social event. We were
Right.
chatting and watching sports and at the bar, and he was just getting to meet new people. It was just a very easy entry is what I like to see for people.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Is there a highlight or anything that has already happened that kind of was something you were looking forward to, or anything else you're looking forward to?
That's a good question. I mean, the highlight for these, as always, while the sessions are great and you get to learn a lot of things,
Yeah.
I mean, the networking opportunity is fantastic.
Yeah.
Whether it's new people you're meeting, current clients, potential future clients, like
All of
the
that.
in-person factor has gone away a little bit with the pandemic, and
Yep.
sure, things are definitely very much back to normal, but there's still a lot of virtual things going on, and while those have their place, the in-person interactions
Absolutely,
is great.
yeah.
Like you can't really replace this
No.
like a conference like this. Like,
Yeah.
No.
Even
you,
the
you
fact
have
that,
to attend.
Even the fact that they started things on the weekend. I mean, I've talked to some friends in other industries, and they said, "Well, why is there a conference on the weekend? Like, don't people have lives?" And I said, "Well, this is actually the social part of it. Like, if
Yeah.
you want to
Right.
join,
This is the part you love. You kind of love.
We've got a lot to do.
yeah, there's a ton to do. They don't overload the sessions on the weekends, so you don't have to attend all those things.
Right.
But the social aspect is there. You come when you can make
Yeah.
it, what works with your
Yes.
schedule, and get to talk to people.
Yeah.
No, I think that's phenomenal. So, what's ahead for you for the rest of this event? Right, there's an evening event tonight. There's the
After
after party.
party.
Yep. Right, the after party.
Are you
like going to
going?
the after party, right?
Every single time. I
Okay.
go.
There
Every
you go.
single time.
Do you sing?
We
Perform.
We perform. We usually have a
Okay.
YPC group go up.
Yes.
So we
Okay.
try
Yes,
to
that's
get
right.
the-
Okay.
Have
that's
we
right.
decided on a song?
We have not. We
Okay.
usually pick that on the fly.
Okay.
Once we're there.
Fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. That's as young
Yeah.
people do, right? Young at heart,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Young at heart people do.
And for those that want to get involved, they can go to, I think it's YPC, is it YPC Council?
I believe it's ypcouncil.org.
.org, it's
Don't
.org,
quote
yeah.
me on that. I
know.
should have probably brushed up on
Yes,
the website.
no,
name.
I'm blanking too. I help with the
I know,
we
Mojo
help with the
helped recently
website,
with the
so
website.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should know this, but I feel like it's ypcouncil.org.
Yes.
We'll put it.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the link, but
we'll put it in
or
the
you can
description.
just Google IBTTA Young Professionals, and so you can get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Join the
whatever
newsletter.
capacity you want. Like,
Yeah.
some people are just in the Discord to kind of see what's going
Sure.
on, and some people are in subcommittees. Some of them are not. A lot of
Right.
them are not. And it's
Yeah.
just however much you want to actually put into it.
Well,
It's up to
and I want to talk about that briefly because you talk about a committee and people think, oh, I'm going to go give my time. I'm going to go do this. But what they don't realize is if you come into this, to this industry
Yep.
with a transactional mindset,
Yep.
you're not getting anywhere.
No.
These opportunities are chances for you to get back. It's a chance for you to get involved, learn the nomenclature, kind of get and so I think it is very important that people do consider joining some committee.
Anything.
Right, volunteer once a year. Go to the maintenance program
Yep.
and help in those the special projects.
Yes.
Right, like the special projects are super inspiring.
Yep.
Like that's something you could even do.
Yep.
Right, but
Absolutely.
it's not just you can't come here to get $1.
Exactly. And the biggest thing for me, especially taking over as chair for this year, one thing I have in the back of my mind always is everyone's volunteering their time. We
Yeah.
can't turn this into something where we're expecting people to put in hours and hours and hours.
Sure.
So everything we do, it's great that we have a lot of people participating in YPC and volunteering in subcommittees and the steering committee so that we can share the workload and share the ideas.
Yes.
We don't want anyone spending too much of their time and making it feel like this is a second job for them.
Right, yeah.
exactly.
We know this is you're doing this on the side of your desk. You're doing this in your extra free time. So this is a very light and easy barrier of entry into the organization.
Yep, and I checked. It's ypcouncil.com actually.
.com, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, it's
So you have
ibtta.org.
.com.
ibtta.org, but ypcouncil.com if you want to get involved with the YPC group. So, yeah.
Well,
we
is
want to
there
thank
anything
you.
in closing you want to? I don't know if you had anything else, Kayla.
No,
Is there anything
no.
in closing you want to let people know, or
No, I think this is a great that you're doing this. I remember looking into it when I think you did it first at the tech conference.
Yes, the tech conference.
Yep, and this is a great thing. Thanks for having me on here. It's nice to talk about YPC, IBTTA,
Yes.
and just helping anyone who's interested in getting involved in any way, trying to navigate the difficult waters in any industry, whether it's tolling or any kind of
Absolutely.
industry, getting your foot in the door in any way possible, volunteering, meeting people. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways you can get from conferences like this.
Yeah, well, we definitely we feel that synergy. We feel a special closeness to YPC. We think there's a lot of synergy there, and and I think it's important that a lot of people support this. I mean, for example, even for this event here, Milligan Partners. We also want to thank CSG for helping, and then quite honestly, IBTTA has been a huge supporter. So we thank them for opening these doors to us and welcoming us, because we think that in the end, we're serving all the professionals that are here, the young that want to have those conversations, they want to be a part of it and expand their knowledge base of the profession. So thank you very much to everybody who's coming, and thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you very much.
It was great having you.
Yes, thanks
It's a
for having me.
pleasure.
This is fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
All right. Well, keep watching. We hope you've enjoyed today's live streaming podcast as we start to wrap it up just in a minute here, but we hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be coming again to Dallas, we hope. We'll be joining you guys in Dallas. Are you going to Dallas?
Probably.
Okay, well, there we go. Hopefully we'll see you there. All right. Thank you very much. Take care.